Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning. It is time for Naturally Inspired Radio. I hope you woke up well this morning. It's a gorgeous day here in northern Colorado. Sun is out, but there's a lot of mud here on the homestead. I mean, a lot of mud. And the cows are even looking muddy. I was out there feeding them yesterday, and they were so full of mud, and there's big piles of mud everywhere. I mean, I know I complain about the snow, and then now I complain about the mud. This is the season. You're going to have to get used to it. I'm going to be complaining about the weather until spring hits. And then I'll be back, I promise. Anyway, all is good here on 1890 Homestead, and I hope you are having a great morning as well. Holy cow. Holy cow, holy cow, holy cow. Podcast Wars 2025 is getting spicy. Boy, oh boy, is it getting spicy. Of course, I am talking about Candace Owens. Of course, I'm talking about Tim Pool's recent meltdown. Did you see this? Well, I'm not going to play the disgusting meltdown that he just like went nuclear on Candace. I have some ideas around this. I think Candace understands what's going on, but I know there's a lot of people that are thinking, Candace is ruining everything. She's ruining the Republican Party. And all I'm saying here, okay, again, I want to stress, I don't know what happened, okay? But neither do you. We don't know what happened. And I would say, if you are calling Candace a liar, if you are calling Candace, she's acting on nefarious intentions, I would say, I hope you're watching her show. I hope you're watching her show, because I would love to see some people, instead of freaking out and calling her, see you next Tuesday and all that other stuff, why don't you start building a solid case against the case that she is building? I mean, if you really want to do work in the space, if you're really concerned that she is evil, then I would say start building a real case against her. I mean, disprove her flight logs that she has. Disprove her assessment. Okay? I think that would be the most constructive way that you could use your energy at this point. Because here's the thing we have to all ask ourselves. Do we want truth, or do we want to be right? Because we've gotten into a lot of trouble in recent years with this whole my truth, your truth, her truth, his truth. Gosh, I can't stand when people say that. It's my truth. No, it isn't your truth. It is your perception of the truth. It is your perception. Okay? There is only one truth. The truth is what happened without your emotions tied to it. Now, you're totally entitled to feel whatever way you want to feel about the facts. Absolutely. Yes. You can feel however you want. That is your freedom. But I'm looking at the way people are acting about this, and I'm thinking, this is strange. You called yourself a truth teller, maybe. You said you were in it for the truth. The left is lying all the time. The left is lying. The left is evil. But the truth gets dicey, doesn't it? It's not neat. It's not clean. It's not perfect the way we want it always. Nope. The truth, a lot of people said, older people used to say, well, the truth is, arguing as kids or whatever. She did this, she did that. Well, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. And a lot of time that is the case. So I would say everyone needs to just kind of say, okay, you know what? We're at a time right now when we called for truth. We asked for it. The Great Awakening. We wanted to wake people up, recognize the truth, right? But now we're at a really critical point here. Some big whopper stuff is getting revealed. And I'm not sure that everybody really truly wanted the truth. But I'm here to encourage you to pursue the truth always. Not what I tell you. Not what I tell you. But what you put together. And you should aggressively be always searching for the truth. Here's why. The truth is kind of like treating root cause with your health. If you don't get to the bottom of the truth and start to fix things from the root cause of the problem, right? Like you don't understand what's really going on and you try to fix things, you're just kicking the can down the road. Like your health, you got to get to the root cause of the situation. Where are the lies coming from? How deep does the corruption go here? If we really want to fix it, if this truly is the great awakening, then you've got to be willing to let the truth unfold. And I feel like there's a lot of people that really don't want the truth to unfold here. They want to trying to craft the truth for other people and deliver it to them on a platter. This is the truth. Here's the truth. And I think we have to be careful about that, because I'm not saying anybody's trying to do it to purposefully mislead other people or what have you, but it's dangerous because you're kicking the can down the road. And you kick the can down the road, guess who has to deal with the lies and corruption down the road? Our kids and our grandkids. So you might as well do it now. You know what I mean? Because we're here, we're still, we're active, we're still able to handle it, we're still able to, be here. So it might as well happen now. I mean, we've come this far, right? Which is a long way. It's a long way. So many people are understanding, how things truly work in the world right now. But are you ready for the next level? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. It would appear, though, that Tim Pool is not ready for the next level. Check out this clip.
Okay. Republicans are on track to lose the midterms. They were actually trending in the other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And this is the point, isn't it? The most effective political assassination in history. And thanks to the likes of the vile cunt Candace Owens, she has turned Turning Point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them. I don't get paid by any of these people. I'm not on good terms necessarily with Turning Point USA. They didn't invite me to their stupid event. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. They invited me back after I started criticizing Candace. I'm not going to your event. I'm over all of this shit. The last thing that I need to deal with is a bunch of cowards in conservative media refusing to stand up to her. Megyn Kelly, come on. I appreciate the kind words, but come on. Such fucking pathetic bullshit. And I get people saying, Tim, thank you so much for talking about it. I don't care. I'm not doing a favor for anybody. I'm not doing this to benefit anybody. Nobody's paying me. There's no fucking Russia. There's no fucking Israel. There's just me sticking my neck out and then risking dying for what? A bunch of cowards that don't want to stand up to protect themselves? People like fucking Candace Owens?
I couldn't believe that she put you in the thumbnail
What a fucking cunt.
of her piece today.
I'm done.
The idea that she'd imply.
Wow, I didn't realize there were so many See You Next Tuesdays in there. So I apologize. Maybe we better put a warning on that. Some bleeps on that for sure. I sent, obviously he's very angry. Very, very angry. But you see, when you're this angry, I think there's a few things going on here. Tim Pool's ratings have dropped a little bit. And from what I understand, his expenses are quite high. He's had to employ security and whatnot for his stances. I think it's unfair to blame Candace for the whole thing. I mean, Tim has been, campaigning essentially for Trump's win, and a lot of people don't like Trump, right? So that could have gotten him to a lot of trouble. There's a lot of things. I mean, I don't regularly listen to Tim Pool because it's just not my jam. To me, that show sounds like a bunch of people sitting in a basement playing video games and talking all at the same time. And so I find it hard to listen to. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I truly don't. That's what it sounds like to me. That podcast, it sounds like to me, people are sitting in a room, they're all playing video games and they're just kind of spouting off while they're playing video games. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. So it's just not my thing. But I know his stances on things, and I know his stances on things, there's a lot of people that don't like him because of his stances on things. And that's the risk we take for speaking publicly. So I get that, he's used to bringing in millions of dollars and not having a lot of overhead with his podcast, but he upped the ante. when he came out publicly and, endorsed Trump and all of that stuff. And so, I'm empathetic, but I think it's unfair to completely blame Candace. And I would bet he is not watching every single one of her episodes. I would bet he isn't. And I'm not sure why. Like, if this is so upsetting to you, when things, when I get amped up about something, I want to dive in and understand it so I can be less mad. Because there's got to be some reason here that 8 million people are watching her. Stay tuned, everybody. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Hey, would you help us grow our YouTube channel? It's absolutely pathetic over there, you guys. I don't know if we'll ever grow on YouTube. I tell you, I just had a big mouth too early in the game and I got the boot off of YouTube, and it's been so difficult for us to grow that channel. So if you would pop over there and follow the channel, go to youtube.com and just search, Naturally Inspired Radio. If you like our posts, follow our channel, maybe even leave a comment. Perhaps, possibly, just maybe we might get a couple of views. I don't know. Anyway, follow us on YouTube. It's Naturally Inspired Radio. Thank you so much. Okay, if I had to guess, I would say, Tim Pool's under a great deal of stress. And I don't want to speculate and say why he might be under a great deal of stress. But, I did have the thought that perhaps wifey is rather upset. It's probably pretty scary, obviously. There's some questions going around too about Tim Pool and his apparent shooting at his property. I'm not judging. I'm just saying there's some questions there, and so I'm sure his wife is not happy. He's losing money. He's not making the amount of money because he has to pay out all these expenses for this giant podcast now. And anyway, he's not a happy camper. And Candace reflected that in her tweet, and I thought this was quite big of her. Check this out, Candace's tweet. I cannot explain it, but I sense that this isn't actually about me and that Tim Pool is under tremendous financial pressure. Men behave a certain way when they are under economic pressure, and I feel like he's just lashing out, and I happen to be there. I would agree. There's more things going on here, and I have to go back to this, what I was just saying about root cause. If you are at this, I don't know how much more I can explain this. Politics is like professional wrestling. It's negotiations. I always say, it's like what it's a gang. It's a gangsters. It's whoever can negotiate the better deal. It's like a mafia. And so much of our corporate conglomerates that control our country, they work like this. And I know it sounds sensational and all that stuff, but it really is the way it is. It's the only way that it'll make sense to you. If you start looking at it like, oh, this mafia did this gang did that to retaliate, and then this gang did this, and you can be watching that and hanging on every move left or right, or you can understand that we have a real opportunity here to get to root cause, to get to exposure of the evil that exists. Many people feel that, that it's an evil ideology. And I think this is what it gets overlooked when we're focused on politics and not truth. Like, a man was assassinated in front of our very eyes. Almost nobody believes it was a little trans boy committing murder in front of everybody who just happened to hit him in the carotid artery and kill him instantly. All the chaos, all the questioning about the gun. Like, come on. I think I remember, and maybe I'm misspeaking here, but I do think I remember that Tim Pool even didn't buy the original story. So only when it becomes uncomfortable do people suddenly not want the truth. And you see, everybody's grasping right now at some sort of normalcy. Hey, if we can just get our party in, if we can just get this, then maybe we have a chance to put this whole thing back together. And I hate to tell you this, but this whole thing was actually never together in the way that you thought it was. In the way that you thought it was, it never worked that way. We lost it a long time ago, decades and decades ago. So we have an opportunity now, because of this great awakening, for us to really just, hey, you know what? We can unite as citizens, and we can unite on key foundational things like we want our streets to be safe. We want our kids to be taken care of. We want freedom for our kids. We want, we can unite on these things and let the circus run its course. Let the circus run its course, because you know what? If the driver is wasted, drunk, right? The captain of the ship, he's loaded. He's so drunk, he can't make rational decisions. The people on the ship, they push the captain aside eventually, right? And they just say, you know what? You're not capable of guiding this ship anymore, so we're going to go ahead and do it for you. We're going to act in this way, united, and we'll steer our own ship. Thank you very much. The mechanism, this infrastructure, only has power when you're engaged in it. And so keep engaging in it. Keep hanging on to it. Keep, oh, my guy's got to win. And my guy's, he's a good guy and they're trying to take him out. And, we don't know. We don't know. But I do know that the truth is probably where we should start. And just let it unfold. Why is everybody trying to be an obstructionist and not let it unfold? Let it unfold. There is an evil ideology, and everyone feels it. Everybody's been saying it, right? Everyone says, oh, it's a spiritual war. It's a spiritual war. What does that mean to you? What does that truly mean to you? Because if you understand it's a spiritual war, then you know that there's an undertow here that's driving people's actions. I want to play this clip because Candace is onto this evil. And other people are onto it too. Many of us have known it for a very long time. It just sounds so unbelievable to the normies of the world. It's hard to present. But Candace has a pain right now that is greater than what people think about her. She is like a dog with a bone. And this pain that she is carrying is bigger than an election. It is bigger than people saying she's crazy. God forbid, but I think it's even bigger than her own life. That's how convicted she is. Listen to this.
That should very, very much alarm people. I believe that there is some truth to what David Icke has said and what Alex Jones has said, people before them have said, that there has been these dark, demonic, satanic cults. It's the reason why I started my book club, because I needed to understand where this was coming from in the only way that it can make sense, which is that these people are being guided by a theology, right? This goes back to one of the more brilliant things that my husband said right when we, I guess you could say we dated for 18 days. But I said, why did you read theology at Oxford? Like, what a boring subject. And he said, everything is theology. And I've now realized he's right. They are guided by a theology. And I had to then go back and try to understand Sabbatianism and Frankism. Do you know a bit about this?
No, explain them.
Yeah. So I, at the same time that I'm sort of questioning
the stuff, the stuff that you can find in research. And, I've interviewed David Icke. I've interviewed these people that talk about this stuff. I've read William Cooper. Alex Jones talked about this stuff. Why do all these people keep coming up with the same research if there is no such thing as this underlying cult, ritualistic cabal of evil? How come? How come every generation has its person that comes to this knowledge, tries to share it, and then everybody piles on them and says they're a liar, they're this, they're that? How come that happens over and over and over again? I mean, how many crazy people come to this understanding after diving into, research? They all just came to the same conclusion, found the same evidence, found the same patterns, tried to tell the truth, and then, they just got squashed. I find that interesting. It's an ideology. We all sense it. We've all said it's a spiritual war. It's good versus evil. Do you think that evil only exists on one side of the aisle in American politics? You think that's the only, they all stay on the left. They don't. Absolutely not. It is not that cut and dry. We try so hard to simplify everything so we can wrap our brains around it, right? This is how it happened. Oh, it's this way. You don't know. You got to get used to not knowing every little detail, right? You feel it, you have intuition. You're like, what is going on here? That does not feel right. That's all you really need to know. That's all you really need to know so that you don't end up supporting something evil, right? All the signs are there. So use discernment. Use discernment as this thing continues to boil, because it's going to, it is going to. And, I don't have a picture perfect scenario of what went down on Charlie Kirk's death, but I do know exactly what Candace Owens is talking about here. There is an evil undertow that drives and shapes our culture. And it's been happening for a very long time. A lot of people that you wouldn't even think are involved in it. Let the truth unfold. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. Good morning. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Naturally Inspired is all about changing the medical model. It's about inspiring people to live better, get better results with their health. So support us and support our mission and our community. We help so many people right now. Every day I'm sitting down with you and doing assessments and connecting people to real solutions for health, getting results, and it's super exciting. I'm thinking about some of the people I talked today. And a lot of times, in our first session, there's a lot of tears. And so I'm just sometimes moved by that, that you've chosen me to work with you, to help you through whatever you're going through at the time. And I just feel lucky and grateful and happy that I can be here for you to bring you some comfort and some confidence as you walk on your optimum health journey. So right now, you can support us. I get asked all the time, how do I support you? How do I support you? Buy our products at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Right now, we have over 30 products that are buy one, get one free. So 2 for 1. And everybody's buying wellness products. It's like over 75% now of people in the United States buy wellness products every single day. Vitamins, skincare, collagen, anti-inflammatory, herbs, things of that nature. Everyone's buying them because we know they work and we're all tired of the medical model. So if you want to support us, buy them from our store, naturallyinspiredstore.com. Again, check out our deals because we have over 30 products that are 2 for 1. One of my favorite 2 for 1s right now is the Immune Collagen, the liquid biocell collagen you can get right now, 1 free. All you got to do is put 2 in your cart, and at checkout, 1 will be taken off. So that's an incredible deal. Many people want to try the collagen. It's wonderful, highly absorbable, low molecular weight. Everybody needs collagen over the age of 25. So take advantage of these deals now before supplies are out. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com today. Become a part of our community. All right. I have another clip I just want to play for you because Tucker had John Leake on his podcast. I haven't even listened to the whole thing yet because I'm trying to cram all this, information into my head every day. And I'm like, oh, that's a good one. That's right. But so much is coming out right now. So much is coming out right now. And it's all being overshadowed by Candace and Tim Pool, but it's the plan, right? It's like, oh my gosh, God's in control. I mean, not the plan. I mean, God's plan, he's on the throne. Whatever's supposed to be happening is happening right now. God's in control. I got to believe that. But there is a lot going on, about COVID, and so much is being revealed. And many people are just freaking out over politics. Do I have to remind everybody that COVID shut your life down? In some cases, it ruined people's families. It made people lose their jobs. Gosh, people committed suicide over it. So we cannot just let it go. Anyway, I want to further make my point that there is an evil undertow that drives culture in our country. And we've all kind of looked at blind eye to it out of convenience, out of go along to get along, out of that default situation that we find ourselves in so often, where we do things because default, well, I'm supposed to do this, and we don't actually do the research ourselves. We just assume a lot of knowledge is the right way. That's got us in a lot of trouble. And here's yet another thing. So here's Tucker's latest podcast with John Leake explaining the ideology that pushed the whole vaccination campaign. It's kind of interesting. Check it out.
Do you know what that is?
I don't.
That is a 20 euro silver coin issued by the Vatican in the year 2022, commemorating the COVID-19 vaccine, specifically the messenger RNA vaccine.
Actually?
Mm-hmm. And you will observe the traditional Catholic iconography, the three, the Trinity. You could go into, for example, the Art History Museum in Vienna. There's a Raphael painting, Madonna of the Meadow, and it's this tripartite figures. I think in Madonna in the Meadow, it's the Virgin Mary, Christ, and John the Baptist. So that three, and then here you have the cross. When somebody looks at that, particularly if they're Roman Catholic, they immediately have all of the iconography and all the feelings and thoughts.
That's the most resonant image possible.
For sure. So if you look at the Numista catalog, the coin catalog for the Vatican, it issues different metals and coins and so forth. It is described as a boy prepares to receive the vaccine.
Not really.
A boy prepares to receive the vaccine.
This is his first vaccine. Sorry, excuse me.
You got it.
Yeah.
I mean, the grammar, the number of words, it's identical. A boy prepares to receive the Eucharist. So what Francis did with this, and I don't know if he's the guy making the decisions, is let's take the existing religious iconography, the idea of Christ the Savior, the one that will protect you or at least your soul, and how are we supposed to interpret this other than, well, it's the vaccine that's the Savior?
Understand that your faith gets weaponized against you. That is why it is so important to have an individual relationship with God. You got to have church in your heart, right? Because evil infiltrates everywhere. I don't think there's any institution left, you guys, that hasn't been infiltrated. That doesn't mean everybody working within that institution is evil or, orchestrating evil. I'm just saying that there's people. This is why I say there's gangsters in every ethnicity, in every religion, in every geographical location, right? Because people can be captured and they can be used for evil. And you don't have to be a certain color to do that. You don't have to. You just got to be vulnerable and open to it. And we know that people are. But your faith, I mean, just look at the COVID vaccine, right? It was your savior. They used the Trinity to get people to take the vaccine. They set up vaccination injection sites in churches. I've been telling you last week and this week about the business of religion and how even churches are being used as, a guise, if you will, a screen for the business that goes on behind the facade of the church. The auxiliary outshoots that are making $265 billion. It's not just the LDS church. It's evangelical churches. It's mega churches. They are they have all these offshoots, right? The church is the smokescreen for the business. It's very important that you understand what I'm saying here. I don't want to say too much, but I want people to understand that this is how things are running. You want to know how things got so captured, so corrupt? Well, there's a corporation or an entity that presents itself this way in the public. This is who we are. But it's actually not the way it is behind the scenes. It can be used for different operations. Perhaps, and I'm not saying anything, but like perhaps, maybe that could have been what might have, maybe, was going on behind TPUSA. Possibly. It's just a thing because I've seen patterns with this, right? Especially in the mega churches, right? Where other things are being done behind the scene that actually make a lot of money, and they've kind of filtered. And it's kind of like this, places that visit other states, a lot of them. If you're moving around a lot, it's a great mechanism to also move, other things along. I don't know. The point is, the evil ideology is rampant. And don't get sucked in. I'm not telling you what to think, but I'm just telling you that there's more here. This is not about an election. This thing isn't going to be won at the polls. It's going to be won through the hearts of the people. It's going to be won when the people understand, this whole thing doesn't serve us. It's actually serving this undertow of evil that exists in the world. And when we start to understand that, well, then we act differently. We don't support the undertow of evil. We start coming together as community. I think community is going to be the word moving forward. Because we're really being called back to each other to recognize what matters, what's going to be the glue that holds us together through this rocky path that we're on right now. Because it's definitely a transformation process, right? Like, we're shedding a lot of stuff. People are struggling with the truth, It's not your truth, it's the truth. Got to make sure you're not hanging on to something just because you want to be right or you want it that way. And I did a little research on the truth just so I could, bring some good valid points up here. And I think it's really important. The truth is found in what is, not what we wish it to be. If something is outside your control, let it go. That is the truth. Stoics believe truth comes from seeing reality clearly, not through emotion, fear, or fantasy. Truth reveals itself when emotion is removed. Stay tuned. Your naturally inspired moment is up next. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Nothing makes me happier than when you get results. Brian sent this in for me. He said, I struggled with cravings and afternoon crashes for years. Tammy taught me how to stabilize my blood sugar naturally, and it changed everything. I've lost 20 pounds, have steady energy, and my sleep has never been better. Work with me today. Try it. Get a 90-day plan, priority access to my text line, and VIP access to weekly wellness workshops. All you got to do is schedule a free health assessment with me at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Or you can text me if you have questions. How does this work? What do I do? No problem. Text me. My health text line is open 24/7, 720-303-8868. Text me and we can talk about it. You can tell you what you can expect through the assessment. It's usually just a really good conversation where we trace back where the problems kind of started, and then we start piecing out what we can do to get you back on the road to optimum health. So it's a great process. Once you become a customer of mine at naturallyinspiredstore.com, you get access to my health text line for comments, questions, curiosity, and connection. You get the Tuesday night weekly wellness workshops, all of that stuff. So it is so much more than just buying products. It is me connecting you to real solutions for health long term so that you can be empowered with your health for the long haul, forever. Because once you know, you're never going back to that allopathic model. So book with me today at naturallyinspiredstore.com. All right, let's get on to the naturally inspired moment of the day. It's a good one. So I was thinking about this because a lot of times, like I was saying earlier, when people book assessments with me, they're in crisis. You know, a lot of times they're just like, oh, I've been to the doctor. I don't like the answers they're giving me. I don't want to do what they say. Like it's tough. And when you get to that point where you really just want to feel better, it can be a little emotional and you almost feel like you're in crisis. Right. So today I wanted to talk about, and I had some appointments like that this week. And so I just want to address this. Today's Naturally Inspired Moment is about 5 ways to adjust during a crisis. When a crisis happens, you know, and you feel like you're out of control, if you don't have a kind of a plan to get through a crisis, you can spin out. You can kind of come off the rails. And not only are you dealing with these, you know, catastrophic type of circumstances, but emotionally you're like spinning and you can't get a hold of yourself to respond in the way that you want to. So it's very important. I'm not saying, you know, you spend a lot of time thinking about crises, you know, if this happens, I'm going to do that. If this happens, I'm not suggesting that, but I am suggesting that everybody have a plan. Like during COVID, you know, there was a lot of people saying, you're going to kill grandma. This is terrible. You can't do that. You can't do this. And I'm like, listen, I've had a piece of paper on my desk since this thing came out. I know precisely what we're going to do if we get COVID. I know exactly what we're going to do to prevent ourselves from getting COVID. Don't worry about us. We got a plan. And a lot of people, they didn't have a plan. Right? They were just like, oh, I hope I don't get it. I hope I don't get it. Right. And so they were at the mercy of everything that was around them. They just had to do it because they had no plan. So if you can have a plan to manage your emotions during a crisis, so you know how to deal with these things, you're going to come out better. The whole thing is going to come out better. So number 1, dealing with a crisis, right? Slow down. Because I think that's the number 1 thing that drives people into making poor decisions in a crisis. It's just happening so fast, right? It's happening so fast. So slow down because your state will speed up a reaction. So if you can slow it down a little bit, you can respond instead of react. So when a crisis hits, your nervous system wants to go into survival mode. But decisions made in panic tend to create more of the crisis. So, you know, you get the adrenaline rush, like whatever happens to you when you're kind of, you know, absorbing a crisis, try to remind yourself to take some breaths, right? Take some breaths, whether, whatever is going on. If you're in the moment, you can take 3 breaths, right? Just quick. You don't have to take a long time. But then name the situation out loud. This is happening, and I am capable of responding, right? Name it, whatever it is that's happening. I'm having this argument right now. I'm capable of, responding to this and not reacting. I'm dealing with this crisis. I'm capable of responding instead of reacting. So, unfortunately, crisis doesn't ask for permission, right? It just arrives. It disrupts and it reveals what we're made of. But the people who come out stronger have one thing in common. They know how to adjust without losing themselves. So slowing your state, you got to practice it, right? But we all know, crises come, hopefully not too often, but they do come. So it's okay to kind of rehearse based on your history. You know what it's like when you get hit with a crisis. So how would you respond differently? If you can reflect back to how you've responded on past crises, then you can better prepare yourself for the future. What would you do different? I think of a time when my son was little, and of course, he's vaccine injured, so we were dealing with respiratory problems all the time, and it was terrifying at some times. He came tearing into my room in the middle of the night and could not breathe. And he was gasping for air. And in that moment, my mom instincts must have kicked in, because I don't even remember, what I did. But for some reason, I was eerily calm, and I got him to sit down and get, a nebulizer and start getting, as I called, the paramedics. So I'm like, wow, that was really a good learning experience for me, because I went on autopilot. It wasn't after. Oh, believe me, I fell apart after in the back of the ambulance, right, and to the hospital. But it gives you your history of how you've responded, gives you a way to kind of work through these issues so that you can respond better. It's a muscle. You've got to practice it. Get a clear picture of reality. Uncertainty makes problems feel bigger than they are. So write down the facts, right? After the initial thing, you're back, in a place where you're safe or what have you. Write down the facts. Okay? It's a great thing to do. Not your emotions and how you feel about the facts, but the facts. Okay? Because clarity shrinks your overwhelm and shows you the next right step. You might not be able to see the next right step in your mind's eye because of the way you feel. Not until you write down the facts can you see, oh, the next logical step is this. 3, break the crisis into manageable pieces, right? So every storm is made of smaller parts. Identify what must be handled today. Don't even think about tomorrow. Maybe even it's what's got to get done this hour. What do I have to do this hour? However small, you have to chunk it down, but you need to identify what needs to be handled first and then compartmentalize, right? Worry about the next step after the first step is managed. This prevents emotional overload and restores momentum in getting yourself out of the crisis. Number 4, activate your support system. Crisis is not meant to be carried alone. Community. Call the person who brings logic, not drama. Lean into your community. Lean into your faith, prayer, mentors, and healthy routines that anchor you. You don't need those people who get caught up in emotion at this time. This is the time where you need rational people that will stick to the facts with you. Number 5, reconnect to purpose and direction. A crisis can shake your plans, but it cannot erase your purpose. So ask yourself, who do I want to be on the other side of this crisis? Act from that identity now. Start acting that way now. What would this person, what do I want out of this? Right? So through this, what do I want to be? I want to be an advocate for this issue. I want to make sure people understand my story. I want to make sure people understand that this happens. I want people to understand that, they can make it through this as well. And start acting like that person today. That's how transformation happens, in the middle of chaos. A crisis doesn't define you. Your choices inside the crisis do. There's a lot we can't do about our circumstances. We can live in prevention. We can be safe. We can make all the right decisions. And yet, crisis still happens, right? That's kind of the messiness and the beauty of life. As we roll into artificial intelligence, there seems to be an underlying pattern of control. Like life is too messy. We need to control every facet of life, including death and sleep and any little shortcoming that we have. We've got a pill for that. We've got an upgrade for that. We've got an injection for that. And here's the thing. You have to recognize the beauty in the pain of life as well, because life can be painful and our experiences can be tough, but there is beauty in it. When you come out the other side, you have to be able to see the beauty in the mess. That is what, is so complex about life. And so inspirational about life. And it's what connects us as humans too. Understanding that this whole journey is really a big old mess, But somehow it's like an orchestra, right? Like even the messy stuff adds to the beautiful music. And if we don't accept the messy, or we try to remove the messy, we're going to get this very sterile, plain, homogenized, lifeless type of system. And that isn't life. That's something else. That's something else. So instead of trying to, control chaos, control the things that you have no control over, maybe just try to watch it and respond better within it so that you can add more beauty to the circumstances. I don't know. Some tools to get through chaos and crisis. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia, and I am so glad you're here. We're coming up on hour 2. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. Good morning. I hope you're having a good morning, having some coffee and relaxing as you listen to the show and take in all of the chaos, right? The chaos that's going on. I was just thinking during the break, it's like, man, like we got all this stuff going on. I'm glad I'm just an observer. You know, I'm glad I'm just an observer. And because we got a Muslim infiltration going on. We've got the global evil cabal takeover going on. We've got AI to worry about. We've got pharmacia to worry about. We've got religious wars going on. We've got corruption. We've got gangsters. I mean, there's just so much, right? And so it's really important that you protect your peace. If you can't do anything about it, be an observer. And make sure that your actions matter, because each and every one of us together, especially coming together, we are the ones that have the power to shape culture in our country. And so don't forget that, don't forget that we have choices every day, and the way we respond to things matters. It shapes our culture. Very, very important. We've been talking about truth in the first hour. If you're just joining us, welcome. We've been talking about truth in the first hour because I've been a little bit Well, I can't say I've been shocked because I don't think anything shocks me anymore. I tell Jason all the time, if a freaking alien landed in our pasture, I'd be like, sure. I really wouldn't. Like, I don't think nothing shocks me anymore. I'm just like, really? Okay. Next. I don't even think I'd be scared. I really don't. It's like, yeah, of course. Okay. It's probably Project Bluebeam. I mean, who knows anymore what's real and what is fake? It's so hard to tell. But I did want to just run over because I did a little research on truth and, how it's defined and whatnot. So there's a couple other things I just wanted to share with you that I think might be helpful. Truth cannot be harmed, only ignored. Truth lies open to all. It is not taken. It is forsaken. People don't lose truth because someone stole it. They lose it because they stop looking. I thought that one was good. Truth and virtue are the same path. In Stoicism, truth equals virtue equals alignment with God's natural order. If you live honestly, courageously, with integrity, with discipline, you are living in the truth. Truth is shown by actions, not words. Stoics believe that your life, not your sentences, reveal your alignment. If your actions contradict your words, the Stoics would say your truth is in what you repeatedly do. This is so important, okay? Because like in the business of religion, that docuseries I was just telling you about this week, it became really apparent to me that these mega churches, they didn't want community participation. They wanted butts in the seats. They wanted you to show up and be entertained, but they didn't really want you participating in anything, because they don't really want you to see what's going on. Show up, tithe, that's your job, your butt in the seat. And that's politics. They don't really want you to participate in things. They just want you to donate, Put your butt in the seat and be entertained. Donate. My question is, how does that enrich your life? What impact is that having on you? And more importantly, what impact is that having on our culture as a nation? Once you get involved, have you not? I mean, I know, my kids went to school for a while, a charter school, when they were little. And from the outside, I thought the school operated a certain way. As a parent, I was like, oh, this is great. This is wonderful. Everything's perfect, right? And then I started working there. And, I saw behind the scenes, and it turns out it didn't work anything like I thought it did. There was all kinds of things going on there that I never saw as a parent. I only saw as somebody who worked there. And so, and ironically enough, that school ended up, they had a very heavy parent involvement when we started going there. And then as it, fell apart, because it did, they really pushed parents out. They all of a sudden didn't want parent volunteers at all. They really made it complicated and hard for parents to participate and volunteer within the school, to the point where most parents just said, I can't do that. What's happening in our schools now? Well, a lot of times you have to have, register before you go there. You have to show ID. You have to have ID on file. They're making it harder and harder. And they'll tell you, oh, it's all because of safety. No, this is a tactic. They don't want you interwoven into it as a community. They just want your participation. So think about that as you get sucked in to politics. Okay? How is it impacting you? Is it having a positive impact in your life directly? I want to remind you, though, that you do have a culture. This is the moment in the show where we just take a couple of moments to remind you that you have a culture, because there's a whole group of people trying to convince you that you do not have a culture, that America it's just made up on immigrants, and we're a mishmash of immigrants, and that's our culture. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. And of course, if you really want to get down, to defining culture, it's just, simply put, it's just the way we do things around here. And the way we do things around here is impacted by our environment, right? In the desert, you know, they have to wear different clothes because they live in the desert. They got to prepare for the winds, and they got to prepare for the sand and the dirt and all of that stuff. Whereas, you know, in the mountains, they prepare differently. But we're so blessed here in the United States of America. I just want to remind you of our landscape and how that impacts your culture. So take a look at this quick little clip.
Across fiery deserts and snow-capped mountains stretches a nation of contrasts and unparalleled wonders. The United States, land of freedom and opportunity, represents a mosaic of landscapes and cultures that continues to amaze the world. For generations, this land has inspired dreams and ambitions, welcoming millions of people in search of a new life. Sparkling metropolises, dizzying canyons, ancient forests, and boundless prairies. The American territory is a canvas of incredible diversity, changing dramatically across its 50 states.
Changes dramatically across its 50 states. Like how incredible is it? You know, if you've traveled to enough states, you see the differences and the difference in culture in every state. And that's an amazing part of American culture, that you can, you know, go to Alaska and experience Alaska, and you can go to Texas and experience Texas, and you're still in America. And there's these guiding traits of Americans, you know, that you can find in all the different states, like the ability to persevere, the patriotic attachment to our founding fathers and our story of how we came to be a country. Our work ethic, our ability to reinvent. We've covered all of these things over the last few weeks here on the show, the things that kind of make us American. And so I just want to remind you, you know, that this is unique. This is unique to America. And our environment very much impacts our culture. I was talking about this earlier yesterday, I think it was, or maybe it was last week. I can't remember now. But architecture, no, I think it was yesterday. Architecture reflects a society, right? We have all these different phases in architecture, you know, Art Deco or, you know, Victorian style, all these different periods where we built things differently. It reflects the time. And it reflects how people feel about their culture. And we have some signs in modern day now that are showing us that there's not enough care. There's not enough care in what we're building these days, because architecture reflects the love for your country, for your culture. This is why we see these, you know, beautifully built churches and whatnot, because it's a reflection of the commitment to faith and the expression of the love of people. And so we should be concerned about that. That's a sign. You know, they throw up houses, you know as well as I do. They throw up these subdivisions now, and it's like drywall. They slap paint on it. There's no craftsmanship anymore. It's just about convenience. It's about cost. It's about, you know, time, getting it done quickly. These aren't variables that we should be, you know, adhering to and thinking like, this isn't what makes us American. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should be more concerned about quality, not as concerned about quantity. We've got to get back to those pillars, because that's what makes a solid society, a solid culture. Yeah, that's been going on a long time now. And I think I mentioned the other day too, even the way we build things. Like, gosh, I've been in this house, I think 11 years, and I think we've had 3 fridges already. In 11 years, 3 fridges. I think we've had 2 dishwashers. Seems to me things like appliances should last. They used to. The question is, why don't they anymore? Is that reflective of what we think about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, what we'll tolerate? I don't know. Explore that. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Welcome back. Looking for a protocol? Maybe you got gut issues. Maybe you're dealing with inflammation. Who knows what you got going on? But you know what you got going on. And I betcha you can find a protocol for it at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Of course, every purchase you make with us means you're part of our community. And when you're part of our community, you get access to my health text line. You get access to the weekly wellness workshops, which tonight we're going to be talking about food. We're going to be giving some recipes and dialing in food because people are getting sick of meat and eggs. This is what I hear. And so we're going to go through some recipes because you don't have to stick to just meat and eggs. Let me tell you. Broaden your horizons, and I'm going to show you how tonight on the weekly wellness workshop. So go to naturallyinspiredstore.com, get into our community today, make a purchase, use one of our protocols. You can text me if you have any questions, 720-303-8868. All right, let's get to some news. This story just really, oh my gosh, it's crazy. This is just too much. So way back in the day, I don't know, probably 2023, I guess I would say, when everybody was like, safe and effective. You're crazy. Shut up, lady. Shut up. Yeah, you get the boot off Facebook. You get the boot here. Remember that time period? One of the things I was highlighting was Dr. Daniel Nagasi. And he was a doctor out of Vancouver, British Columbia. I pay attention to that area because that's where I'm from, And he was saying, you know what? This is a huge issue, this reverse transcriptase, meaning that this experimental injection was actually going to change people's DNA. Oh, that's crazy, they said. That's crazy. Even Robert Malone, people like that. Well, that's crazy. No, we don't have to worry about that. No, we don't. That's not a thing. Fast forward 2025. Turns out it's a thing. I just want to share Dr. Daniel Nagasi's picture here because I want to make sure I give full credit again where credit is due because he got killed in the press, of course. Well, I don't know if he got his license taken away or what. But this guy right here, he was throwing press conferences outside of his hospital. And he was screaming from the mountaintops, don't take this, don't take this. This is what's happening. All the stuff. All the stuff. So just want to give credit where credit's due, because now 2025, and now it's all becoming common knowledge now. This is on Tucker today. Take a listen.
Do you think there's evidence that the changes to people, to their genetic structure wrought by these vaccines, could be passed on to their children?
The McCullough Foundation, of which I am the vice president, we just published a person who had cancer of the bladder, which is a very severe cancer. In that tumor, so in the bladder cells that had become dysplastic, that messenger RNA was found in the cancerous cells of this tumor. So it seems to be integrating. Now the question is it integrating in a way that can be passed on to the offspring, or is it so dysfunctional that it's killing the host before it can be passed on? And I don't know that we yet know that. But remember, the science is the topography of ignorance. I mean, there's a lot about this that is very, very concerning. There's also a study that this messenger RNA seems to have transcribed into liver cells.
Yeah. I mean, all us crazy people were talking about this years ago. And now I believe even the old CDC director, is it Robert, what is his name? Robert, is it Redfield? I believe it is. Yes, Robert Redfield. He was the former CDC director. He's now calling for these mRNA injections to be pulled from the market. Yep. So, I just got to remember, like when everybody was like, what are you doing? You're going to kill people and you can't come to my house. And if you don't get this, don't even talk to me. I don't ever want to talk to you again if you don't do this. You are selfish. Yeah, we were right. We were right because we were actually reading the material and going to the product website and understanding the risk-benefit ratio. Yeah, while everybody else was listening to the TV. And you don't think there's an evil undertow that controls the world now? Okay. Sure. Well, let me present you with another supervillain of the day. Because this is what's going on. People are slowly. So yesterday I reported that, the Hep B vaccine, the universal one that's done a first day of life, just no questions asked, do it. It's getting taken away from the schedule. So it's not going to be done on first day of life. You're going to have to make that choice later. Wouldn't you know it, you're going to make that choice later when you visit your doctor, because that's the decision that you're going to make between you and your doctor. Hopefully you make the right one, whatever that is. So they're going to pull this shot, and here comes Scarf-Lady. You remember Scarf-Lady, right? Yeah. She wrote a book after she destroyed everybody's lives. She wrote a book about how she destroyed everybody's lives. And I guess people don't read anymore because they don't. Either that or you can say whatever you want in a book. Who cares, right? What is happening? Sometimes I'm just like, did she really say that? Yeah, she totally said it. Okay. So she's telling everybody in her book that she lied to the president of the United States at the time, Donald Trump. She just lied to him. Apparently that's fine. There's no recourse for anything anymore, right? I think I just saw Glenn Beck crashing out, and that's the new latest term. So I'm told, all the kids are saying it. We used to say freaking out, oh, it's totally freaking out. Now it's crashing out. Okay. Just so you know. So when you hear it, you know what they're talking about. Anyway, so he, it just thought that, these people are freaking out over this. Nope. It's just, swept under the rug. And I don't know. It's like people don't have a memory anymore. Like, has our memories been wiped? Sometimes I wonder because, the algorithm just seems to hijack people's consciousness. And, it was Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck was crashing out, freaking out, just saying, I'm tired of this. This happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, illegal, crime. Guess what? Nobody's in jail. Huh. It's kind of weird, huh? It's kind of weird that nobody's in jail. It's almost like it doesn't really matter. It's almost like this thing runs on autopilot because there are some pretty powerful undertow. There's a powerful undertow, that's just kind of, it's going this way. And you can try to swim upriver against it, but they got all these mechanisms in place like, lawfare and contracts and negotiations and extortion and assassination. And, they got a lot of tools to use to make sure that the undertow keeps going in the right direction. Doesn't it seem that way? I mean, Glenn Beck seems to think so because he was crashing out over all of this. I have to go back to my friend Kathy O'Brien. She's been through so much, Kathy O'Brien. And I always like to say this, give her credit, because her words really did have an impact on me as somebody who really needs to get justice. Somebody who's like, I can't stand this. I got to get justice. Justice was my thing. You're not going to do that to them. That's not right. She told me one time in one of our conversations that she had to give up on justice a long time ago, in the sense of like that justice would take place in a courtroom. Because the powers that be that, facilitated her abuse and all of the torture that she went through, they were, too big, too powerful. They're never going to be brought to justice in the court of law. And she had to come to terms with that. And the way she came to terms with that was being able to tell her story and impact other people, and have other people then begin to think differently about the way the world works, so that they could awaken and start living with purpose and not be so distracted by, this side or that side. Like, you're not going to do anything about that. You've got to focus on, shining your light so that other people will be encouraged to shine theirs. And that's kind of the way to deal with this stuff, because you're never going to see it in the court of law. It just doesn't work that way yet. We have a chance, I think, in the future, if we can really push for the truth and accept the truth and let go of being right about everything, let go of, having to know and be right and then force the narrative that way. Like, just let it unfold. We're better off for it. I'm not saying don't do anything. I'm saying get to work in the actions and be the model of who you want to see more of in the world. Be that person. Be the person that takes personal responsibility for their health. I have a great story of somebody, Brenda, in our community. She's lost, I think, 25, 26 pounds, and is starting to impact everybody at her work. They're making different decisions. They're not bringing in cakes anymore. They're bringing in fruit and cheese, things like that. She's a model. She's having an impact on the people around her. That's how we shape our culture and take personal responsibility. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations? much of it being imported or processed with additives. Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Thank you so much, everybody, for supporting Naturally Inspired. We are so grateful for you, whether you've purchased the Cellular Reset or the collagen or the multivitamins or the awesome omega-3s or the laundry soap or the kitchen soap or whatever. Every little bit supports this message, and that is being a model. That is, showing what you support and what you want to see more of in the world. So we're so grateful for all of you that do that. Hit me up on my text line. I'm here for it all the time. 720-303-8868. If you would like to support the Naturally Inspired message as well, head on over to the naturallyinspiredstore.com. Make a purchase today, and you will hear from me tomorrow morning. You will start getting the words of encouragement each and every morning and so much more. You can join us on the weekly wellness workshop and all the other things that come along with being part of the Naturally Inspired community. Yeah, Scarf Lady. So that's that Dr. Birx. You remember her. She got a fancy new scarf on that I'm like, what is happening here? I think it's a chain. It looks like a woven chain around her neck. I don't know what her thing is with scarves, but it sure is irritating because she's irritating. I don't know why. Anyway, she's got a message for you if you're pregnant. Take a listen.
Well, I was really hoping that everybody would take this opportunity to have a broader public health discussion. It's not that I'm against the birth dose, but something is putting pregnant women still at risk. And we should be concerned both about the pregnant mom and the baby. And I want to know what we are doing to ensure pregnant women do not get infected and they are protected in young adulthood. And so we have some really significant questions since we started the birth dose in the late 90s. Many of those women have reached childbearing age. Are they still protected against infection? And we know they're protected against what we call chronic active hepatitis, but are they protected against infection? So we need to be titering pregnant women. We need to be boosting them if they need to. And pregnant women who have never been vaccinated, we need to vaccinate them. I think it's okay to have a safety net for the babies, but let's figure out why we have failed.
No, Deborah. I don't think you get it. I'm pretty sure you don't get it. Either that or you're part of that evil undertow that we've been talking about this whole show. I don't know what's going on with you, but no. So now we need to make sure that all the pregnant ladies out there understand that they're coming for you. If they can't get to your baby, first day of life, then they're going to try to get to you. This is a negotiations, right? We just heard it, just heard it. And now Trump has asked for an inquiry into the whole schedule to look into it, see which ones do we really need here, right? Which one, this is ridiculous. 72 injections, which ones do we really need here? So they've got to pivot. They've got to pivot because the vaccine schedule is a very important income stream for pharmaceutical companies. It's ongoing. It's often subsidized. You know what I mean? It's pretty much free money. And so they're not going to let it die. This is a beast that is going to rear its head over and over. Oh, we can't get the babies. Now we've got to get the pregnant ladies. it's just like, it just won't die. It just won't quit. So alert to all pregnant ladies, you're going to start feeling the pressure. So, don't take my word for it. Of course, do your research. There's some wonderful resources on children's health defense. There's wonderful books that you can get if you need any guidance to get to a book, a title, what have you. A website, 720-303-8868. You've got reading to do. You've got things to learn about it. But you're capable. You're absolutely capable of making your own decisions in this area. Like I said, I don't think this is going to go down without a fight. And there's going to be new products on the market, but everything's kind of up in the air right now because we have this mRNA that, more and more information is coming out about that. I shouldn't say more and more information is coming out because it's always been here. Like it's always been here. It just wasn't the right person delivering it. It was people like me delivering it. I'm not the right person to deliver that. It's got to be somebody more like, that has 8 million followers or 5 million followers. Then it gets taken seriously. It has to be the right doctor, right? It's so funny because, during COVID, there was a rush more to doing things more naturally. People, rightfully so, had a distrust in the allopathic model. Oh, I don't want to go to my doctor, but I need this or I need that. And so, more natural care providers were providing care for many people that would have never have come to natural care before. It was COVID that drove them over to the natural paradigm. But there's this weird thing still that, the conditioning is deep. The conditioning is deep because people still will take a medical doctor's advice or counsel or opinion over a natural practitioner. Because we're conditioned to follow that MD. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not giving you advice here. I'm just saying understand that these are apples and oranges, and an MD is trained through the establishment. They are trained on pharmakia. They are trained on pills and procedures. They aren't trained on root cause. It's not in their wheelhouse. So they don't know a lot about nutrition. They don't know a lot about minerals and vitamins and herbs and lifestyle practice and, anything outside their wheelhouse, they don't really know. But now so many of these MDs are coming forward and saying, like the head of the CDC, right? Dr. Redfield. Oh, yeah, the mRNA is not good. We should probably pull it off the market. Meanwhile, the natural practitioners have been on this, since the thing came out. It's just fascinating, right? Because we're conditioned into a system and it's tough to break away from it because you're so used to it. And it's like those neural pathways say, I need advice from an MD. I need an MD to tell me, I don't know. It's just interesting. The weight that it still carries. And I hope that people can start to recognize that there's a spectrum of practitioners available to you, right? We have acupuncturists, highly qualified. We have nutritionists, highly qualified. We have, chiropractic care. We have massage. We have emotional somatic release practitioners. We have so many people that can help in this space. But all the light, we've been taught to put all the attention on the MD. And they're not even near, a lot of the times, they're not even near as well studied as these people that are more whole body approach practitioners. And so I just wonder when the scales are going to even up. because maybe it'll take a new generation. I don't know. Maybe it'll take a new generation coming in and not being indoctrinated by the Rockefeller medical model of petrochemicals and procedures and cutting out and all of that stuff. Maybe it'll take a new generation that'll be like, oh, that's craziness. I think that will happen, right? I mean, we don't exactly promote the lobotomy anymore. So it's very possible that a lot of these belief systems will fall by the wayside and we will get to a practice, right? Because medicine is a practice that really focuses on root cause and really understands that what we put in our body controls expression of disease and how important it is that we honor our metabolic health, that we support our metabolic health, right? That we understand that that's where cells go into dysfunction is how we're training our metabolic health. Are we training it to slug through, congestion at the cellular level because we load up with high carbohydrates, ultra processed foods because it's convenient and cheap? And do we value that? Or do we value real food that energizes the body, that fuels the body? Even that shift from in America, a lot of times we eat for entertainment and we don't even think about nourishment. What do I need in my body? What do I need? Right? What do I need for the expression of health in my body? Do I need more protein? Do I need more fats? The body's always communicating. It's this back and forth. It's like, oh, I got dry skin. Why do I have dry skin? Oh, I need to up my fats. Are you responding in that way? Instead of this very compartmentalized, like, oh, I only treat my health when I go to the doctor. You treat your health every day, whether you like it or not, whether you recognize it or not. You treat your health every day. It's what you put in your mouth. It's how you move your body. It's how you master your nervous system. Are you in control of your stress levels? It's how you deal with things emotionally. It's what you take in. It's what you put out. It's living. It's living. And yet somehow it's become so compartmentalized that, you only deal with your health when you step into this little room with this person in a white coat who knows better than you how to curate health in your body. Like, imagine if you've never been on the planet before and you just got here today. What? You know what I mean? And you had more than a couple brain cells to rub together to, string together some thoughts. You would think that was weird. Why are all these people going into this little sterilized, highly susceptible, infectious place, aka hospital, to be treated? Emergency medicine, yes. I mean, I'm not talking about emergency medicine. Chronic illness, what are we doing? We'll be right back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. So glad you're here.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Welcome back. Hopefully your morning is going well. Having a beautiful day. I got one more clip I want to share with you before we go into our health topic. Basically the same thing I was talking about with Deborah Birx here, but this is the Pfizer CEO. Hot on the trail of the flu shot. Hot on the trail of the flu shot. Let me tell you, they don't want to give these up. These are subsidized. Have you been into your grocery store? Get your free flu shot. It ain't free. It's being subsidized, right? So listen to this real quick.
Off in biotech stocks following these reports that the FDA, which you used to run at the first part of the Trump administration, is now going to require one study to clinch approval of vaccines. You were one of the former commissioners who put out this really extraordinary editorial in the New England Journal of Medicine arguing that the FDA and top vaccine regulator, Dr. Vinay Prasad, are changing policies in a way that's going to slow down new and better vaccines. What specifically is the problem you see? Because this isn't just Hep B. This is the vaccines of the future, you're saying, just won't be created.
Right. So Vinay Prasad, who is the head of the Biologics Center, also oversees the vaccine division. He also has been appointed the head of biostatistics, the chief medical officer of the agency, and the chief scientific officer. So he occupies a lot of positions. Put out a memo saying that they're going to do away with or move away from what they call immunobridging studies. These are studies that allow you, for well-validated vaccines like the flu vaccine, to be able to demonstrate each year that the new vaccine that's formulated against a circulating strain can elicit antibodies that are effective against that particular strain, and that could be the basis of approval, rather than requiring new outcome studies every year to prove that the vaccine actually reduces the incidence of influenza. For established vaccines where we know that antibody production is a good correlate for immunity, this has been a long-standing practice. We do it for flu vaccine, we do it in COVID certainly, we do it for things like pneumococcal vaccine, the vaccine for pneumococcal disease, where we look at serotypes, circulating bacterial serotypes. This allows us to update vaccines as these viral and bacterial strains change and as the composition of the strains change in time to provide protection for the fall respiratory season. If they move away from this, which is what he said they plan to do, we're just not going to be able to update vaccines each season as we've done historically to accommodate whatever the circumstances.
Oh, no. As you can imagine, I'm so disappointed about that. You know, Scott looks a little unhappy. He used to be so chipper. You know, what happened? He used to be so chipper when he would come on and give us our little COVID update. Now he just doesn't seem so happy. Oh, it's just too bad for Scott. But yeah, slow down new and better vaccines. And isn't it just interesting that every time they talk about vaccines on these shows, they mention the stock market? Do you notice that? It's all about the money, people. It's all about the power, the control, and the money. All right, let's get on to our health topic because this is a good one. I was helping somebody with this recently, and I thought, oh, this is a good topic I haven't talked about. I want to talk about sciatica today. Yes, sciatica can be very painful, can be very debilitating, annoying as all get out. So I want to talk about some unknown causes of sciatica first, and then we'll talk about some solutions. So the psoas muscle, it can pinch the nerve indirectly. So when the psoas, which is deep in your hip flexor, when it's tight, it pulls the lumbar spine forward and down, which narrows the space where the nerve root exits. So this isn't a direct pinch. It's a mechanical tension between most people never get diagnosed with. So people who sit a lot, drive long distances, or experience chronic stress often have this hidden contributor. Another reason, the fascia around the nerve becomes glued. So your sciatic nerve must glide smoothly through soft tissue, and inflammation or injury or even dehydration, you guys, can cause fascial adhesions, which make the nerve stick instead of slide. And this creates that electric zinger feeling even when the spine looks normal on an MRI. Most clinicians never evaluate fascial glide. So collagen, right? And as it makes sense because people think, oh, I'm just getting older, and so I'm going to have to deal with sciatica. No, you're lacking collagen. You're lacking collagen. So really great to supplement with collagen. Constipation and gut inflammation. It can irritate the nerve pathway, and most practitioners don't ever think about this. So the sciatic nerve runs behind the intestines. Severe bloating, constipation, or gut inflammation can increase intra-abdominal pressure, which pushes the pelvis into misalignment, and it irritates the nerve roots. So this is a major functional medicine insight. When the gut calms down, sciatica often reduces. So it could be, that you're having gut issues. Not necessarily. What happens with sciatica specifically is I feel like, it's so painful and people just go on the stretches with it, right? They're just constantly trying to stretch their hamstrings, stretch their lower back. They try to stretch the area from where the pain is coming from. And that, I have learned, is the wrong approach. What we want to do is create space for the nerve. So you want to open the hips. You want to stretch the space around the sciatic nerve to create space for it so that we can tackle the inflammation. Okay, so pelvic floor tightness, and that sometimes mimics or causes sciatica. So overactive pelvic floor muscles, often from stress or childbirth or chronic bracing, can create downward tension on the sacrum, which irritates the nerve at its origin. People with this subtype often feel pain deep in the glute, near the sit bone, with long sitting, or even with bowel movements. And that's rarely discussed and easily missed. SI joint micro instability from hypermobile connective tissue. Some people have more elastic ligaments. And when the SI joint becomes even slightly unstable, the pelvis rotates and the sciatic nerve pathway narrows. Chronic irritation happens, and these people often stretch and stretch, but never improve because the issue is stability, not flexibility. So how do you build stability? Those are your rubber bands. That's your weightlifting. You want to build up the muscles to provide stabilization. Number 6 is vitamin and mineral deficiencies. So that sensitizes nerves. This is almost never brought up in conventional care, but is extremely common. Low levels of vitamin B12, vitamin B6, magnesium, omega-3s can make nerve tissue hypersensitive. So even mild compression becomes severe pain. So you want to supplement with your methylated B complex. You want to get magnesium as into part of your daily routine. Of course, Omega Guard, our Omega Guard, omega-3s, pharmaceutical grade omega-3s are awesome. Wonderful protocols to start if you're dealing with this. Of course, inflammation can be treated with our wonderful cellular reset as well. Emotional bracing. So that fight or flight holding pattern that you find yourself in when you're dealing with chronic stress causes the nervous system to hold tension. And the psoas, the pelvic floor, the glutes, the spinal erectors, this creates neuromuscular guarding. So shrinking nerve space, so it compresses the nerve. This is why so many people report sciatica after long periods of stress. Not just injury, but stress. This is why I always address the emotional component and make sure people are moving the emotional. When you've been through a crisis, when you've had a lot of long-term stress, you've got to move that energy out of your body, whether it's writing, whether it's talking, whether it's movement. Everybody deals and needs to, integrate their experiences into their identity, but you got to move that energy out of your body. So it's an overlooked component of health by far. It's so overlooked. Here's one that you wouldn't think of: foot or ankle dysfunction. And then it travels up the chain. So flat feet, weak arches, stiff ankles, or even worn out shoes can cause a rotated tibia, rotated femur, misaligned pelvis, compressed sciatic nerve. Few people realize sciatica can begin in your feet. So 9 is scar tissue from C-sections or abdominal surgeries. Abdominal scars can tug on fascia lines that connect to the pelvis, subtly rotating it. Even 1 or 2 degrees of rotation can narrow the nerve channel. And this is a missing piece for many women. So a C-section. And it might take years, for that to show up. So there's no correlation between the scarring and the sciatica. It comes in, well, that's just something that happens as you get older or whatever, right? Inflammation from toxic exposure. So certain chemicals like phthalates, heavy metals, pesticides, they increase systemic inflammation and can sensitize peripheral nerves, including the sciatic nerve. This creates a lower threshold for pain and makes minor compression feel major. This is a really hidden one, TMJ dysfunction. So hidden jaw dysfunction or TMJ. This sounds strange, but the jaw connects to spinal alignment via the dura mater and the fascial system. So chronic TMJ tension can increase neck muscle tightness, spinal compensation, lumbar nerve irritation. And this is seen in chiropractic practices all the time, where people actually need adjustment on their jaw for sciatic nerve. Very interesting. Visceral ligament tension, so organs pulling on the spine. Organs are attached to the body via ligaments when the liver, colon, or kidneys are congested or inflamed. They can subtly pull on the spine and reduce nerve space. So this is kind of an osteopathic explanation, and it's real. So these are some, off the radar type of reasons why sciatica may be impacting you and creating a lot of annoyance in your life. Some things that you can do: a piriformis release. You want to do 1 minute on each side. Figure 4 stretch, a hip flexor stretch, cat-cows and glute bridges. There's this great one that you use the wall. You're standing on the wall and you push your hip into the wall. There's some wonderful stretches that can bring relief, but here are the stretches I would recommend you focus on, not necessarily the ones that, are going to pull on your hamstrings, that are going to, put more tension on the area of pain. What you want to do is create space, put a ball in between your legs and squeeze that. So you're using the opposite resistance on your muscles that relieves the tension on the sciatic nerve. So just a few things that you can do immediately. But of course, you want to focus on long-term sustainability when it comes to sciatica. You don't want this thing popping up all the time. So what do? You move your body, you create space, you eliminate inflammation as much as possible, you nutrify, right? You live in prevention. These things always flare up in the worst of times, Thanks for joining me today. This has been Naturally Inspired Radio. See you tomorrow.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.